Hey, my name's Nate, also known as Good Job Dino, which is where you can find me on YouTube, and I am happy to be a guest for the Commander Raids box break. For my deck, I opened a box of Murders at Karlov Manor. So, without further ado, here is the face down, beat down, breakdown. Since I opened Karlov Manor, I was really hoping I'd get to mess with the face down mechanic, and luckily I got Yarus, Roar of the Old Gods, who says that my other creatures have haste, and whenever one or more face-down creatures I control deal damage to a player, I draw a card. Whenever a face-down creature I control dies, I return it to the battlefield face-down under its owner's control. If it's a permanent, flip it face-up. So hopefully he'll be able to help me keep some of my face-down creatures around and draw cards, of course. And then we have the lands, and outside of this one that can be disguised, there's nothing really to write home about. This one is basically a clue, but other than that, it's all just forests. It's all just forests and mountains. All right, that brings us to the ramp package, such as it is. Sol Ring, Signet, land into play tapped and investigate. At the beginning of my end step, this is a 2-drop that adds a green, and if a face-down creature entered on my turn at my end step, this gets a +1/+1 counter. Got 3 of those. Got this guy, 4/4 for 4, who adds a red and a green, and that mana can only be spent to cast face-down spells or to turn them face-up, if they're creatures. And then Goblin Maskmaker is sort of a face-down ramp. Whenever it attacks, face-down spells I cast cost 1 less. So it's ramp-ish, it helps. Then we get to the odds and ends, the other, just the things that are there to help fill out the deck, since all we had to work with was a single box of cards. Got 2 of these Eavesdroppers. ETB, Investigate. When you draw your second card each turn, it gets +1/+1 and Vig till end of turn. Just a decent body. I got Rope, Knife, and Red Herrings. These are all kind of, excuse me, bubs, which are all sort of, like the Rope and the Knife are equipments. One gives +1/+2 in reach, +1/+0 in first strike, but they're also clues, which is cool. Red Herring, 2/2 hasty, that is also clues, running 3 of those. The Dronesmith, at the beginning of upkeep, I get a Thopter that has haste, sack it at the end step. Reckless Detective, when it attacks, you may sack an artifact or discard a card to draw a card, and then this gets +2/+0. Just so a little bit of card draw help. It could work in conjunction with the Dronesmith or any of the other artifacts we create through various things. Same with the Magma. 1, sack a non-land permanent, deals 1 to any target. Just a way to get a little bit more damage in. Cornered Crook, similar. It's a 5/4 body on a 5-drop. ETB, you may sack an artifact to deal 3 to any target. Lamplight Phoenix, just kind of a recursive, annoying creature, flying 3/3 for 3. When it dies, you may exile it and collect evidence 4 to return it to the battlefield tapped. Incinerator of the Guilty, this was a cool pool, and something that I would run in a couple of my own decks. Flying Trample 6/6 for 6. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may collect evidence X. When you do, it deals X damage to each creature and planeswalker that player controls. So probably not going to be too useful. The extra effects probably won't be too useful in this format, but still a 6/6 Flying Trampler for 6, totally worth running. A couple cases of the Trampled Garden. This one's probably easier to read. ETB, distribute 2 1/1 counters to solve. Creatures have total power 8 or greater. Whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature, gains trample till end of turn. So just a way to pump and throw stuff. Got a few persons of interest here. These I liked just because it was a 4-drop. You get a 2/2 and an extra 2/2 with it. So it's just a bunch of power on the board. And then 4 Slimes Against Humanity, where you create a 0/0 green ooze with trample and put X 1/1 counters on it, where X is 2 plus the total number of cards you own in exile and graveyard that are oozes or are named Slime Against Humanity. A deck can have any number of these. So we got 4 of those. This is just a way to keep the board populated and make some beaters. Expose the Culprit, choose one or both. Turn a face-down creature face up. Or Exile any number of face-up creatures you control with Disguise in a face-down pile. Shuffle that pile, then cloak them. So if I, for some reason, have... this will probably be more useful for the turning things face up. Or if I have a face-up effect that I want to recur, I can get some things face down. We got 3 shocks, just added damage, and now a bunch of just more damage stuff. So, for 1 green until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control, gains reach. Reach probably doesn't matter, but it's a pump spell. Here we got another pump spell, target creature gets +2/+0 and haste. When it dies, create a 2/2 detective. Don't think that'll happen, got 3 of those. An enchantment that gives +1/+1 that I can return to my hand. Another instant, 3/3 and trample. Flash. When this enters, untap the enchanted creature. It gains hexproof. If it's a suspect thing, doesn't matter. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and can't become suspected. So just another way to buff anybody's creatures, really, which is nice. Got a couple of those. +3/+0 and first strike. Got 3 of those. And then we get to the real meat of the thing, which is the face down cards. So this is the stuff I really want to use. So the first one is Concealed Weapon. Equipped creature gets +3/+0. When you turn it face up, attach it to a creature you control. So you can start as a creature, and then later you can use it to buff more of your other creatures, which is nice. Flourishing Bloomkin. 1/1 for each forest you control. Turn face up, search your library for 2 forests, reveal them, put 1 on the battlefield tapped and the other in your hand. So it pumps itself and flips over. Hide in plain sight. Look at the top 5 of your library. Cloak 2 of them. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. So this lets you throw 2 things face down for 4, which is really nice. Bullrock Clan Basher. This one's obviously better when it's face up, but you can play it turn 3, turn it face up later. It's got double strike and trample. This one has a pretty big disguise cost for 7, but when it's turned face up, you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Each of them gain trample. Couple Nervous Gardeners. When they're turned face up, search your library for a land with a basic land type, reveal it, put it in your hand. So it's fine. It's a face down card. When Vengeful Creeper is turned face up, destroy an artifact or an enchantment an opponent controls. Got a few of those in there. Offender at Large. When it enters or is turned face up to 1 target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So this is another good one. Just, again, we're in Gruul. We're trying to just beat face. It's a good face beater. And then Riftburst Hellion. One of the few Hellions that doesn't have a weird downside. Just a 6/7 with reach. Similar to the other guy. Hopefully, you get it down on turn 3. When you have 6 mana, suddenly you have a 6/7 beater. So that is the face down, beat down, breakdown. Look forward to playing.